Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Dee again, and welcome to The Interstate with Dee. Today is Saturday, May 10th, 2025. Welcome back to our trip on the Interstate. What we do here is present news from the state level that will end up having national importance later, or news that made it into the national news cycle but was overshadowed. Then we go over some questions from y'all. On this date, May 10th in 1976, a famous radio program premiered. But the famous voice behind the program got his start decades earlier with ABC Radio. Shortly after his signature program aired, Paul Harvey became a household name. And now you know the rest of the story. We're starting off with measles, which is up to 935 confirmed cases by the latest CDC numbers. But we actually expect that the numbers will update and be closer to 1,000 by the time this publishes. Okay, and on to the news. In Alabama, 3 federal judges ruled that Alabama's electoral map was designed to discriminate against black voters. One of the judges was appointed by Clinton and 2 by Trump. Elsewhere in the state, and following up on previous coverage, a grand jury determined that almost 60 cases couldn't be prosecuted because of an alleged culture of rampant corruption at the Huntsville Police Department in northern Alabama. In Arizona, the victim of a fatal road rage incident appeared at a trial via an AI-created video to forgive the person who killed him. California might find out what Belle's been talking about when she says that drill baby drill isn't the answer and that refine baby refine is more accurate. The state could see gas prices of $8 per gallon by 2026, according to one lawmaker if 2 refineries close. The experts we talked to said that $8 per gallon was a little extreme, but that there would be a surge. In Georgia, after Governor Kemp declined to run for Senate, it seems like Marjorie Taylor Greene is considering a run. Republican strategists are basically begging her not to. It appears they feel she would breeze through the primary and then be crushed in the general election. Indiana has reportedly opted out of a federal program to feed hungry kids over the summer. The Kansas Department of Health and Environment cut more than 50 jobs. The governor of the state blamed cuts by the Trump administration. Okay, this next one stands no chance of becoming national news, but it's funny. An 8-year-old boy in Kentucky wanted to hold a carnival, so he ordered about 70,000 dum-dum suckers to give away as prizes. His mother was not really happy with the $4,000 bill, but it looks like all of the companies involved and even the bank find it funny too, and are waiving fees and refunding the money. People in Missouri could be able to pay for groceries and taxes in gold and silver because of a weird new bill headed to the governor's desk. Just a reminder, a gram of gold is worth more than $100. This surely won't lead to a bunch of unintended consequences. In Nevada and Utah, public lands may end up for sale after House Republicans approved an amendment authorizing sales. In North Dakota, some highways will see a new speed limit of 80 miles per hour. In Texas, faulty DNA tests are leading to more than 1,000 criminal cases being reviewed. In Utah, Salt Lake City approved 3 official city flags that basically slap the city logo on Juneteenth, Progress Pride, and trans flags. The intent of this move seems to be an attempt to make them immune to Utah state laws seeking to prohibit certain flags. Sometimes malicious compliance is the best kind of compliance. At Virginia Tech, A Metallica concert registered as a small earthquake. I have to wonder if there is some kind of alarm, because then everybody would know for whom the bell tolls. If you're not a Metallica fan and are wondering if that was some cheesy reference, it is. Sad but true. I'm sure many wonder if we'll turn the page and stop making jokes like that. But without humor, nothing else matters. So let's hope that's the day that never comes. But if it does and we fade to black, the memory remains. And here's your weird state fact for this week. Nevada is known as the Silver State, but it isn't normally the leading producer of silver. However, it is the leading producer of gold in the U.S. Okay, so moving on to the question and answer portion of the show. Question number 1. When it comes to prices increasing because of the tariffs, would U.S. consumers be reasonable to assume that a product that is facing a 50% tariff will increase in price by roughly 50 to 60%? I am in the process of preemptively adjusting my budget, as I'm sure many are, and I'm trying to find a reasonable guesstimate for price increases on things like groceries, OTC medication, cleaning supplies, toilet paper, etc. So, surprisingly, that isn't how it works. What we've found out talking to experts is that all of the percentage conversations out there that try to convert the tariff into an average price increase are wrong. It really has to be based on the item, and the profit margin of that item has a lot to do with it. The bigger the profit on a particular item, the less a tariff will force price increases. The best way we've found is to look at the particular item. If the tariff is bigger than the average profit margin for that item, it'll go up fast. An item with a 10% profit margin facing a 145% tariff will go up further and faster than an item with a 50% margin facing the same tariff. Question number 2. I think this is a D question because I think you help with the vote count math. The House passed that bill to rename the Gulf of Mexico. Do they have the votes to get it through the Senate? That's hard to say right now because it's unclear if the Senate will even take it up. But if I had to guess, I'm going to say no because this is subject to filibuster. Okay, that looks like it. We'll see you next week for another trip. Y'all have a good day.